Hey sexy souls, how are you all doing? Woo woo. I at one point had whipped cream. It melted from the heat of the coffee. And then text messages from my child and the other one in the other room. Like, I was like, okay. Let me just tell you. So we're going to get on this. I will say that there was it was not a brief message. It was not a brief message. It was a very choppy, like multi-segmented message yesterday. There's so many interruptions. There's a good chunk of it though that was really good, and I felt like I still needed to post it. It was supposed to be the week ahead. It had a lot of good information in there for someone. It felt a little more like potentially a coffee and tarot a little bit. It was like a little bit of a mixture of both. So I'll post it later so that whoever needs to hear that gets it. But we're gonna start over today. And again, this is a timeless message, but before we get into anything, this is weird and woo-woo. Let's pay attention to the name. I'm definitely weird, and I'm a bit of woo-woo. And the folks that show up tend to be the same. So, alrighty. You are the sovereign being of your own life. You get to make the discernment as to whether or not something is or isn't for you, if, how, when, where, why, any of those things, right? So let's say it together. We're not going to Cinderella this to make it fit. Okay, fantastic. All right, let's dig in. So we are looking at the week ahead. Looking at some of the smaller chunks. I started to pull this one, so that's where we're going to go. I instinctively did, so there's something there. Hope everybody is ready for the changing of the seasons. I know that I am. Moving thoughtfully. It says tread, but I'm going to say moving forward thoughtfully, mindfully, making conscious, taking conscious actions. Oh. It's been a hot minute. It's been a hot minute since I did that. My apologies. And I saw this when we were, like, you know, shuffling. Clear the past, heal the present. Okay. And a breakthrough is at hand. Uh-oh. I'm so sorry. I sneeze. Like my body like has this big jerk reaction on the bottom. We have Mystic Healer. Ooh. I'm sure that was for somebody. Seriously, that's a lot. Okay. With this whole, I feel like you're being more, you know, okay, so they're giving me somebody who would use the adage of be in the flow as kind of almost like a shield or a barrier or an excuse as to not, like, whatever happens, it's supposed to happen kind of thing. And it's like, no, not necessarily. I mean, it's going to happen. It's fated because based upon your decisions, your actions, you know, what you did or didn't do, that's what fate is always based on. And so for me, it's a little bit like they're saying there's a difference between being malleable and just flat out being utterly detached and uninvolved in the situation. It is a co-creation, and a lot of times people take the whole like, well, I guess it was just supposed to be that way, or, you know, if it's really meant for me, it'll happen, or if it's really, they take that and use it as an excuse to not be a participant in their life, to not take accountability or responsibility for things that that's theirs. And it's kind of, it's a bit of a spiritual bypass. You know, I mean, those sayings are meant to ignite or initiate the idea of being malleable and being in the state of allowance, being like water, but a lot of people use it as just an excuse to kind of like, yeah, not take culpability for or responsibility for shit that happens that is squarely lands on them, right? Okay. So I feel like the whole tread thoughtfully is you're actually taking conscious, they want me to put this down here, I'm so sorry, making conscious efforts and taking thought, like putting thought into what you're doing, rather than just like throwing caution to the wind and like whatever happens happens. And it's kind of like, I think the spirit has gotten a little irritated with somebody about that. Okay. And so the other thing is you may have experienced or felt like just like there's a slight of like a F it attitude, which can be very beneficial at times, but one that was kind of I think taken to an extreme, or lasted a little too long, because the idea of clearing the past and heal the present mixed with the taking mindful steps is kind of like, and they're giving me the energy of being very thoughtful as you move forward. But they're telling me like somebody was just like, well, nah, whatever, you know, a spirit will make it happen kind of thing. There may be a bit of that may have been somewhat of either a trauma response or some kind of something happened that got you to the point of being in that space or attitude. Let's just put it that way. And so they're saying, don't let how something has unfolded or how you've done something in the past, or how it's created your current circumstance or environment, be the thing that interferes with how you move. Okay, so clear the past, heal the present, and just know that a breakthrough is going to come in. Okay. Rather than them, I don't feel like this is something that's going to require you to step into your power. I just feel like you innately do such. Like this is just something that it's a natural response to the circumstances, to the breakthrough at hand. Okay. I don't feel like they're telling you to be grateful. I feel like you're going to be very happy with the breakthrough that's happening. And it brings a lot of joy to you. And so it's like it compounds. There's a compounding effect. And I get the sense that there's this idea of, I just need something to feel, oh, I don't know why they're exuberant about. I don't know why they're choosing that word. That's like, okay. But oh, I get it now. I didn't even see that. Because you need to feel like, so you will feel very impassioned and turned on to do something. They want you to take action with passion. They don't want you just to kind of like meander this, which I think you've done before. It's like, oh, I'll do this and this, and it'll just happen. And Spirit's like, golly, like your energy wasn't with it. It almost feels as if like there was an expectation that there was more responsibility on Spirit's side than yours. And they're like, you're not seeing the role that you're playing in this, where things are not coming your way and it's not happening, it's not developing, right? And remember, there's a difference between taking action with passion and taking action with force, like trying to force something or just doing something because you feel like there's gusto behind it. You know what I mean? And so there's something, this breakthrough is going to help you do that. You just feel excited. Okay. And whatever this does, it opens up the channel, the portal, it's like, I feel like your solar plexus, you know, the seat of your power, the seat of your gifts kind of come, you know, that connection, that's where you emanate your confidence. Opening to your spiritual source feels like something that is a gift that you have comes online even more. And if you feel like you, like, whether you're an artist or whether you do, like, I mean, woodworking, or if you are an herbal garden witch, you know, like something, what the magic wasn't there. And if you felt a disconnect with it. And there's something about where when you feel this breakthrough brings about so much joy, and you feel like you're back to your normal self, and you feel solidly, like you step up to a task, like you just feel there's a level of motivation and drive, and like a return to. And so they're saying this helps you to take action with passion. It puts the passion back into the magic of things. And that's where the compounding effect, it begins to expand, and you begin to not only feel it more, experience it more, but it's like, they're giving me like a writer, you know, like somebody who writes music, and it's like when they have the inspiration, it's like sometimes they feel cut off from it, and then other times it's like it's just abounds, like it's pouring in. And so that's what's going to happen. So we want to focus on, I wonder what the breakthrough is that's going to kind of like, they're like, as you do this, don't just like ride the coattails of, ooh, like you really need to be a participant in this, okay? You need to make sure that you're moving forward in a very conscious manner, in a very mindful manner, and make sure that you get rid of anything that might obstruct you from doing that, or any past patterns of just kind of like coasting on the tails of whatever this breakthrough is, okay? No, you need to take this moment and like, it's like, do it with gusto, like expand and abound, like, anyways, I know you know what I'm talking about. So let's go into and find out what this breakthrough is for you. There's the taking action. Now, the Two of Wands, you only take action towards something inspirational, something exciting, something like that really gets your creative juices going, something that you desire, because that's the Ace of Wands. So we have you're going to take action, and you're going to see things take off. And this joy is going to return. So they are reiterating exactly what was just said, that there's just something that, so I want to know about the breakthrough though. We are talking about taking action towards the choice to take an action towards something. The way in which you choose to take action, because the two of Wands is about, there's two ways that you can go about moving forward, right? And we discussed the two ways that they have, that they're like, this is what's on the table. So abundance. If you do this with like, you pour yourself into it, right? They're not asking you to overextend yourself or to deplete yourself, but they want you to have joy with what it is that you're doing. They want you to go after it with appreciation for the opportunity and for the breakthrough. And it's like, what you do with what's about to happen really matters. There we go. What you do with what is about to happen really matters. That's going to be the title of this. Because that's where the celebration and abundance and the overflow comes from, okay? So what is, we really want to know what the, and this gift of yours, the magic returns. The love of it returns, okay? And there's something about the way in which, how you respond to whatever this breakthrough is, the way you choose to take action with it, determines whether or not you reap from it and how quickly you do so. I'm going to put this over here. And what is the breakthrough? We're going to move this over. Yeah, okay, they're pulling more towards Hermetic Tarot. That is the breakthrough. That is the breakthrough. That's the Sun card. Oof. Oh, there's the Strength card. Both have a Leo energy to them, which just really brings in a lot of, it's the face that you put out to the world. It's what everybody can see. It is what you garner attention for. Children of the voice divine. Okay. Definitely some Gemini energy here. I don't usually do the zodiac signs in my readings, but if they come out, they come out, right? So it may have something to do with your voice or how you communicate. It definitely is a talent that you project out to the world. These are all major arcana. You've mastered this, whatever it is, I can tell you that much. Or you have a mastery with it. With the way in which you deliver this. I definitely feel communication being a major factor in this. It's almost like your charisma, your personality. And I know I was saying like woodworking, and I'm trying to think like, whatever it is, it connects with people very well, and it's like they're like a statement piece. Like these are things that are like, they elicit something from people. Tell me more. Oh, I hold on. There was another one, that Three of Cups again. That was in there, and I didn't see that it was flipped. Judgment. People are gonna love this. You're going to be attracting individuals, because abundance is about it's connecting with others and socializing, and I just feel like this is going to be a new community that you pull in. Nine of Pentacles. Okay, we're going to go back over here because I love this. I mean, these are some powerful, powerful major arcana. But what exactly? I mean, the breakthrough obviously has you receiving more attention for your gift. Right? Like, they keep telling us what's going to happen. And you have to capitalize off of this breakthrough. They're like, don't just sit on it and ride its coattails, capitalize on it. And it's like, okay, so what is the... Magician is all about what you do with it matters. It feels like they really do not want to talk about, like, well, their main focus is what you do with it. Like, they're like, that matters more than what the breakthrough is going to be. But whatever the breakthrough is, it gives you more attention. On a skill or your whatever your magic is in this world, that you have felt detached from or felt disconnected from, felt underwhelmed with, felt maybe like you were losing passion for, which is why you may have needed some level of something to bring in that passion. It is your magic. There may have been something stifling that made it very difficult to connect passionately with whatever your gift, talent, skill, magic is. King of Wands in the world. Again, don't get trapped up into old patterns, because the King of Wands is about focus, 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 follow through, drive. Like, no one can deter the King of Wands. There's nobody more determined. There's like a knowing of something, and he follows through without fail. Like, nobody can break his level of determination and the amount of power and passion that he puts behind something. That is what matters. That is what will I just feel like saying, you're gonna get attention, you're gonna have a breakthrough on whatever your magic is. And if you really, really, really want to grow this and not just expand, but expound. They're trying to say expound. I don't know why they're like it would be from a local boutique to selling worldwide. You know what I mean? They said notoriety. So if you're really wanting to get to that level, you have to take what's about to happen and ride that bitch with gusto, okay? Ride it with gusto. You need to capitalize on that like it's not even funny. So let's talk about that. Obviously, they don't want to tell me what the breakthrough is, but whatever it is gets you more attention. It gets more eyes on you. It starts to bring in, I think it starts to be elevated. And from that, you get really like, oh, yes. Like your passion gets restored for it. And so you kind of like, your determination gets reignited, all of that. And they're like, use that, use that. When that comes on, like when that comes on, use it. Okay. And it's like somehow that only increases your skill. Like your creativeness that comes along with that. Your oh, how do I want to say it? Creativeness sounds so colloquial, honestly. Ace of Pentacles. This can turn into something very profitable. Almost like, it's funny because it's the idea of like maybe taking something that is a hobby and turning it into your main, you know. But for me, I feel like other people have, like, this has been a part of their main focus, that they didn't consider it a hobby, and it just wasn't feeding into them the way they were trying to feed into it, and there was just somewhere along the line things disconnected. For some of you, the pandemic may have done that. It may have created some obstacles or issues, because they're even showing me people who are like in a particular field of something, and then they've tried really hard to kind of like, you know, and their light is just dimming. Their love of it has been dimmed. Oh, your love of it will be strengthened. Thank you. Your love of it will be strengthened. And it's the love of this that people can tell you love this, that this is intrinsically something that you're meant to do. That brings in some of the attention as well, and draws them in. And there's just this stepping to the plate. The Judgment card is that answering the call. Like, I feel like I want to say you have attempted this up to this point. You've been involved with this. You've done this, whatever it is. And it's like for the first time, you feel like you're fully stepping in to your power and answering the call. Like things come online, like your gift comes online more than it ever has before. Now remember we are all blessed with different types of gifts, right? That can, it's not like just, our spiritual gifts aren't just like, ooh, I can read and things like that. You know, I'm obviously reading, right? My son has an affinity and a love of numbers. This child, it's like, and my 15-year-old is exceptionally good with numbers. I just, you know, and so, anything with that, like he's looking at engineering and computer sciences, and like he's looking at all these different fields right now, and he's taking all these classes, and it's just like his gift. I'm gonna tell you right now, can I do math? Was I pretty good in school? Absolutely. Do I love it? No. In fact, frequently now as an adult, I remind people I am not a mathematician, but his brain just works in that way. It comes so naturally and easily to him. He even, in the 8th grade, he was so far ahead of some of the other classmates. Well, just, I mean, so far ahead in the coursework, let's put it that way. I don't want to compare him to classmates because that's just not even remotely right. He was so, that when they tried to test him, he tested too far above. So he tested out of, I guess you would say, like what they could test him on was capped. And so, when let me just give you an example. They do testing throughout the year to see where they're at. Mid-year point, like a January time frame, he was 1 point away from testing out. At the end of the year, he tested out, meaning like they had nothing else they could test him on. So his knowledge went beyond what they could test him on or what this test would cover. And so therefore he got the maximum amount. He did not get an award because he only went up 1 point. And I was like, how is that fair? Like, you didn't have the capacity to test him where he, anyways, not that he needed one. He knows he's really smart and into that, but like that's what I'm talking about. Like, not everybody's skill is Reiki and like, you know, all these woo-woo things. Like, your skill is something that's very beneficial for other people. Okay. And the idea where it garners the attention of people and it connects with people. That Gemini energy of it communicates to people somehow. There's like we've talked about, like let's use him for an example. Like the way that his mind works, he can kind of like, he comes up with these scenarios and answers to these scenarios at times where I'm like, wow. And it's almost as if like, what if he, I'm trying to think of a way that he's young, but like, I'll use my sister as an example, guys. My sister can make me listen to shit that I promise you, she's a teacher. And I'm like, I know she in her profession, okay? Because I have caught myself where we'll be sitting in her dang car because we went and did something together, and an hour later I look at her, I'm like, girl, you have had me in this car talking about this damn subject for an hour, and my dumb ass was listening, okay? Because she presents it in such a way. And it's because of her passion for it. And it's because of, you know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, these are examples of like, we're not just talking about, it doesn't have to be just artsy, but creativity can be infused into anything. Your creative way of presenting something to the world, your way of engaging it, makes others pay attention. Does that make sense? What you can do with it makes people pay attention. And that's what's happening. This breakthrough is that. It is, you know, so I want to make sure that we are not making it sound like it's just, because I used, you know, writing music. It's an easy low-hanging fruit to use that as an example, right? But there's so many other areas where this can play a factor. So if you felt like you were like, okay, well, maybe this isn't my message. It still is. It still is, especially from the beginning where you were feeling really connected to it. It still is. I just feel like this is a potential to create something very massive out of this, to grow something from this, and it's something very tangible in your world, and it has a level of permanency. It's the Pentacles. It has a level of permanency, especially because the root systems, because you have obviously spent time with this. This is not something new to somebody. There's a root system in place, right? And like fruit trees, like they have to grow. Apple trees have to grow for 4 years before they really bear any sustainable fruit, because the tree itself has to really establish itself. And I think the lifespan of an apple tree is like, I think they said like maybe 30 years. But your root system is well established now, and you may have been losing the love of this, but it comes back online. So let's ask them, give us any more you want about what we're supposed to do with this when this breakthrough happens. So we're going to whip out Secret Tarot and the Divine Doors. Those are the ones that they are bringing me to. They are bringing me to Moon Magic Oracle. We'll see if after this. So, okay. Six of Wands. Oh, that's some victory. That's a hard won victory. That's a victory after a hard won battle. Like, that's just like, look at that. You need to nurture it. Gosh, now the thing is that changes for everybody. Like what does nurturing this really mean? And that's different. That is going to be different for everybody. Didn't I have another card here? Did I put that other fucking... What is wrong with me? Did I put that card up? What did I do with it? Is it under here? Like, what the hell? Wasn't there another card? Am I losing my shit? Am I losing my shit? What did I do with it? Oh my god. I know there was another card. I don't know where it is. That came out with that. Anyways, I'm going to get back on task here. See, the thing is that, again, with the Six of Wands, usually he's riding back into town on his horse, and you know, there's this idea and notion of, he's bruised and battered, and like it's taken a toll to get here. But people are so appreciative of what it took, what he or she did to get to this place. But now comes whatever you must do to maintain that, right? That's what the sevens are about. After a level of success or return to joy, it's what you do. They keep bringing us back to that. It's what you do with it. That's the Judgment card. It's the Judgment card. We got the Ace of Wands with the Ace of Cups. Okay, so let's answer that. I guess they were pulling that out because there it is. There's the other card. It was in the deck. What? Okay, Three of Cups. Lord of mercy. The Empress, nurturing it, we know that. And then the Knight of Wands is about the passion. I mean, I feel like they're just like, we're being very, like, really, that is it. Like, that's all we can say. is nurture this, pour into it passionately. Like, this is giving your all because of your love for it, not because of the expectations, right? Like, we don't hurry anything along. When the Empress is pregnant, she's like, okay now, come on. I mean, maybe at the very end when we go over our due date, we might be doing some shit like that. But, you know, I'm just saying, like, up until then, we don't want something to come to fruition too soon. We want to take the time and really love it and make sure that it's safe and it's secure. Like, there's just it's pouring your love into it. When you feel connected to this again, love it. Oh. I feel like saying, because there's a lot of competition out there, meaning you may not be trying to compete against anybody, but there's a lot of people competing to have their passion that either may be similar or much alike yours. And it's like, that is going to be the deciding factor between your success or theirs. Okay? It's the amount of love that you put into it. It's the amount that you're willing to nurture. It's the amount of passion that you can express and show the world that draws more people to you. Because there's a lot of competition for it. This is again the thoughtfulness, the way in which you approach something. But I want to say, I think before you tried to strategize too much, you tried to get the winning combination and get the, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? And that's part of what took the passion out of it for you. That took you that really impacted your love for this. It was like, it was too much analysis and too much of trying to figure out the right thing, and it was just way too much. It turned it into like you. I feel like for some it came down to instead of you wanting to do it for the love of it, you were doing it to win out. And you may not have been like, I want to win out against her. No, you wanted to, it became about the competition. It became about the competition instead of about the love of something. And that can translate, like they're giving me like somebody who does woodworking, that could translate into, researching the market to see who's buying what, and then compromising and trying to fit that into what you do. And then if somehow your creativity suffered and you were tailoring things too much to what the market said about this, and then you're trying to strategize and you're trying to force something that wasn't natural, because you over intellectualized it. And then that's where the Queen of Swords is. She's the eagle eye view. She sees all the 20 different scenarios and this, that, and the other. And she's the ultimate strategist. Okay. And I think that's part of the problem, was focusing on a goal, an accomplishment, a strategy versus the love of it, because that was the thing that was going to bring people in. And if you put this into the corporate world, like when your love for something shows up in the boardroom, there we go, the boardroom, right? How you engage them and how you're able to give everything and how you can present and how you can sell something with your passion matters just as much as your intellect on the subject matter and your ability to decipher and come up with solutions, and but when creativity is snuffed out, when creativity and love and passion for something is snuffed out, you most certainly are not going to, there's just too many scenarios where that was the moment of downfall. That is when you started to lose traction. And so when they're saying move forward mindfully, like there, and here's the two sides, right? Because there was also, I think, that a point where it was, because they also gave me early on, like somebody not doing anything, like just thinking like, I'll just move through emotions and it'll all just fall in line. Well, you can move through the motions of something. Oh, I did this, so how come this didn't happen? Because you didn't have the other part of it. You can do the same research as somebody else, but if you can't sell it, well, if you don't have the passion that has you showing up to it over and over again, and you feel like, well, I gave this much, and I just feel like it's the idea, like they're also saying like the idea where somebody puts a little bit in and they expect something immediately back, and they're like, oh nope, that's not it then. And that spiritual bypassing stuff that people can do, because that's also the Queen of Swords, cutting something out too quickly. Like the idea of, if I don't have an immediate response, well, it's not for me. You know what I mean? It is the real quick to cut something out. So yeah, they're showing me a lot of scenarios where it's kind of like, and I feel like somebody has been waiting for something to come through where the passion will come back online. Because I think you may have recognized, I can't. Nothing is going to happen until I feel reconnected to this. You may have been very aware of it. And some of this mindful movement forward is making sure that you don't do those things, like over intellectualizing something to snuff it back out. Okay? And that you only act in the capacity that where you feel inspired to do so. Not because you're trying to hit this goal or compete against this. Don't get wrapped up in the game, in the competition. And don't get wrapped up in this means that. So that it, like, again, that's the over intellectualizing. That's that different perspective. That's moving forward more mindfully and aware. Tell me about the Knight of Wands a little bit. He is definitely one that can feel passion, but it can burn out if you're not careful, right? He's also a bit of a flighty energy at times. Ooh, the shiny thing, shiny thing, shiny thing. Oh, no, there's a shiny thing. Like, it's kind of like, oh, I'm going to whatever the next new thing, to get that rush of excitement, right? There's a level of cultivation. That one. I'll put it back. Thank you. Generally, Four of Cups is that proverbial cup that comes from the sky. It is staring at the three cups, the things that you used to have passion about but no longer do, that no longer serve you in a way. And you're waiting for that one thing to come through to help you tie back into this. Don't miss out on that. Okay? It's what you do with the breakthrough that matters. It's what you do with whatever happens to get you reconnected to this, to give you that chance. It's what you do with it that makes something either a reality, that takes something from the Ace of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. This breakthrough is the seed that can grow into the life that you want. King of Pentacles. All right, so let's go ahead and do this and we'll wrap it up. The art of life. There's no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. Don't shrink back and hide from this. Step into it with gusto. Make use of it. Capitalize on it. Dive head first into it. This is giving your all, but with passion. Not with strategy. Not with, you know, this is... It's going after it with gusto. There is no honor in living an invisible life. Abundance lies in the heart that allows. Share more than expected and see love come around. When you share, when you pour into this so much with your passion and your love, and I know that at times that can be depleting, and they're not saying to deplete, but do more than just what you have in the past. Allow yourself to go there and really commit to it and really pour yourself into this. Not to lose yourself, but to pour yourself into this and see love come around. See the love reciprocated. When you show the love for it, when you have the passion for it, it will come back around. It will come back to you. By your own command, you've brought yourself here. At this moment in life, you have nothing to fear. This is the moment that you were wanting. This is what you were asking for, and they're saying, so use it. Capitalize on this breakthrough. I hope this message finds whoever it is meant for. I hope it has been beneficial. I can't wait to hear all about it. I definitely want to hear about it and share with us, okay, guys? But I hope you all have a fantastic and wonderful week, and I will see you guys later.